Personal best of 47.72. And we are underway cleanly at the first time of asking, no false starts here. And our athlete, Jake Watson's going to take it. Watson.
So back to the session before Loughborough International. It was a 300 at race pace, just practicing race modelling. The aim for the weekend and the 400 is really to be in between the two runs I've done this season, because one I overcooked and one I undercooked, so just trying to find that middle ground. So night before Loughborough International, we're staying at the trusty Travel Lodge. Ledge is not staying with me tonight, he's staying in Birmingham, so luckily I've got the room to myself. Not normally got this luxury when you're staying with the teams, but I'm thankful the wee man is not here. And here's the Welsh kit. Got our numbers for the boys, and I think I'll suit this tomorrow. The Welsh kit, changing nationality whenever I want. So today could be a big day. It could be the first time running in split shorts, but I'm not gonna lie, they look a bit tragic. They are very short. But then the cycling shorts, the alternative, are a bit tight. So we'll see if we're matching Ledge with the splitties or we revert back to the usual cycling shorts. So first race of the day was Braun in the 800.
Let's go, Braun!
In my training group, she's recently stepped up to the 800 and she's smashing it so far.
Jake Watson in lane 5, he's the fastest on paper.
And then it was myself in the 400. Really competitive race. I think everyone in the race had a season's best of at least 48s, a couple of 47s, season's best, so it was good to be mixing it in there, but I was really just trying to focus on my lane, my performance. So yeah, I think at this stage I was doing well to sort of hold the initial speed without cruising too much, and then really started putting in the gas at 150 to go.
Watson coming through as we watch them come round into the home straight. It does look to me like it is going to be Jake Watson in lane 5, he's striding home at the minute.
Yeah, it was nice to finish strong and ended up at 48.5, so season's best. Just thought it'd be good to show Ledge doing a little bit of dance in the warm-up, but because I had raced, I missed the first part of warm-up and just made sure the track was clear, featuring Jazz Sawyer's there. So after the initial part of the warm-up of mobility and drills, we're then on to some strides and a little bit of block starts before we go into the call room. So here, Ledge is under the blindfold as we're going into the blocks to mimic a race. So because he's under the blindfold, I've got to make sure I put his hand just before the line. And this is the call room area, where Ledge goes into the blindfold here and we have to navigate around the track together. There's me looking at the watch despite there being a clock up there. So here we are navigating through the blocks. So I make sure Ledge is just behind his blocks, facing the right way down the track. I then set up his blocks based off his requirements, and then also make sure they're straight. And that's what I'm doing here, looking to see if they're in line with the lanes. And then I take measurements for my block settings so that we are the right distance apart, enough space for our shoulders but still to be 10 centimetres apart, so we're connected by the tether. And here I am just showing the line for Ledge to put his fingers right up against, and then we do a practice start before the race. And here's the sort of pre-race announcements. Bit of kind of an Harris, so I was trying to hold back a dance.
going in lane 3, representing Wales, who was third here last year, James Ledger. Keep your eyes on lane 5 and Thomas Young, the multiple world record and Paralympic medalist who is striding away from it. And it will be a dominant win.
So then at the end of the day, it was time for a bit of ice cream. Esther trying to hide from the camera. So a little bit of a debrief from the 400 at Loughborough. Was much better race than my first couple. Bit closer to my race model. 48.5, finished really strong without coming off the gas too much down the back straight. Wasn't sick and stuff, so it was good mentally to come off and feel okay. Was good, was in a good race, beat some guys with better seasons best than me, and the only guy that was just ahead of me had the season's best in the 47, so hopefully that means on a faster track, faster day, the time's going to drop. So we've got the main man himself to debrief the Loughborough race together. It's something we like to do after the races, like a few days after as well, because sometimes the feelings and emotions are a bit raw, whereas a couple of days to like watch the race back, go back to what the process goals were. It's quite good to do.
I think definitely for me I need, because my emotions are very up and down in any situation, whereas you're a logical thinker, so it allows us individually to both go away, reflect ourselves, and then we come back together to like kind of piece it all together, good or bad. I think even if the race has gone really well, I think it's important to establish why they went well and even things to improve in that instance as well. So
so what's your first thoughts on the Loughborough race?
My first thought is that Loughborough International is always a race I love doing. I always loved starting the season there. It was a great crowd, always a great environment, always obviously, of course, representing Wales is a huge honour, as always. I think I was probably too, and I'm going to use this word correctly, aroused. I mean, too excited. So I think I probably peaked too high.
We were excited for the race as well. First one of the season. Training's been going well, so.
So I think I just
desired to get out there.
Desired to get out there and desired to show what we've been doing in training. So I think, first couple of steps, great. Really reactive, really kind of, explode out the blocks. But then I think old habits very much crop back into that race environment, which they do. I think I popped up significantly in probably the first 15 metres, which then cuts that dry face a lot, and then obviously there's a long way to go after 50 metres. So I think really never really maximised the acceleration phase, and didn't really get into the highest top end we possibly could, and that probably affected the whole rest of the race then.
I'd agree. I think the second half, which was probably the issue last year, in terms of like decelerating, coming out of shape, we were good at, but we never hit a high top speed to hold that. So therefore, even having a good second half of the race, it wasn't super fast because the top speed wasn't there. But I do think that was to do with first race of the season. Just going into the blindfold. You just want to get up and run. Competitive race, but overall I think good weekend, was good fun putting on the Welsh Fest, seeing everyone, having family and all that down, watching is good. Not always the case that they get to come down. So I think it sets us up well for the season.
Definitely.
And then on to Switzerland this weekend. Big thanks to Endurant for supporting us and getting these opportunities to come abroad and race, and hopefully even better environment. So let's hope it goes well this weekend.
Stay tuned.
So after Loughborough, it's a bit of a short gap between finishing up there and then travelling out to Switzerland to do the World Para Grand Prix in Notwell. with James. So during the week it was just a case of flushing out the legs from Loughborough, doing some 300s on the track and staying on top of the gym, keeping everything light and fast, and then travel and get ready to race in Switzerland. So then this is the 300s that I mentioned. I did want to show a little bit more content of this, but my position of the camera, it was just a nose cam. I don't think it helps that my nose is massive, but it's not really what I was going for. So this is just one of the 300s getting led round by the boys, and this is one of the later reps in the session. Recovery session done, 4 300s with the boys in flats, but still was pretty tough. Flushed out the Loughborough racing at the legs, and then travelled to Switzerland with Ledge for the big one this weekend. So yeah, before travelling to Switzerland, wanted to get in a good gym session just to make sure I was keeping on top of things, all strength, prehab, rehab, and making sure any little niggles don't turn into injuries. I like to kick off my gym session just with a little bit of a circuit, get the heartbeat going, and also just keep on top of core and things. So then in the actual gym on the lifts, because it was a bit of a big week competing on the Sunday and then travelling on the Thursday, it was just keeping everything light and explosive, so just making sure I tick all the boxes but also not putting the body under fatigue before a big one this weekend.